Okay, I am back in the shed, yes. Cat on my lap, ready to dive into the ocean of lies and pain. The sea. Okay, chapter 71. Behold thy desire, Behold thy desire and tremble over. Okay. I'm so very fine, okay. Wait. Oh, there's the new tag. Dev Dove do not eat. Okay. Summary. Lo and behold, the greatest game, hidden from sight, yet achingly there. Feel, O shadow, fall, O pure. You know nothing. You know nothing. You are nothing. You know nothing, because you yourself have become nothing. Dance around in this foolish play. Think you are that which you are not. O poor souls, you both are most certainly fools. Oh, wait a second. I said something a little too similar to that. A little bit. Talking about the comparison with baloney to the Spire in the Sea. And how baloney is oftentimes used to refer to something as foolish or nonsense. Said something along the lines of how both pure vanilla and shadow milk are fools. I played the part of jester. Yes. In memory of Coldau, who got assassinated with words spoken by someone who was constantly slamming her head against the back of the couch while talking to herself loudly, with the windows open for all the neighbors to hear. This chapter is dedicated to Via. Quick clarification, since there are different definitions of dead dove. In this context, it means you are getting what the tags are saying you are getting. No sugarcoating. Please look at the tags for the love of everything. Look at the tags. Check the tags all the time. I like what I see. There's no insane changes going on. The light of deceit clasped its hands in a mock prayer, raising one leg and leaned sideways. If the spire of deceit is the belly of the beast, as you so love to proclaim, it lifted its clasped hands higher. What am I? The light squinted. The brain? About something else. A hand moved to the chest, or the heart. Judith's recluse's eyes did not leave the sight of the hands. The way it's italicized. His name? Oh, my knee is getting stabbed by a cat. Neither taunt or the shuffling of his side could unglue them from the small lines on his blue palms. Blue hands. The accusation and the implications. A thought that shredded his certainty. His fears. His desire to leave his fears. The certainty forced itself back. Who was he? What was the lie? Why did the lie feel true? Why did the truth feel like a lie? Back and forth, thought after thought. Realization after realization after realization after realization of possibilities he, at the moment, had no idea of how to label. If there was a label. Since when did he care about labels? He cared about labels. Why was he thinking about labels? The fount of knowledge was truthless recluse. He was shadow milk cookie? What logic lied there? It made sense. It didn't. It makes sense, and it doesn't at the same time. I agree. It was a lie. It was the truth. Why were these thoughts forming this way? It said itself that he was shadow milk cookie. Yeah. That was the light of deceit before him. The light of deceit lied. Why did he feel a stronger connection to it after leaving the river then? Inside of the lake. Where was the light of truth? How did the river lead them to the lake? Hey, those are questions I asked. Those are my questions. From the question of the day. Yes, I asked those questions. His mind tried to untangle itself. To no avail. The supposed puppeteer, playwright, recluse, healer, king, hero, villain, clown, jester, student, teacher, beast, ancient, had knots inside of the brain. Plenty, plethora, a surfeit, an abundance. Golden cheese cookie. Toe jam of abundance. Yes. His mind had so many knots had become the shape of a knot, perhaps even a pretzel, with the right twist. The fount of knowledge moved once again, a quick turn of his torso further into Toothless's face. Toothless's eyes remained on his hands. His hands. The light buzzed a brisk note, oscillating between a quick quirk of its lips, and the full radiance of teeth, a fanfare of its own. Whatever answer lies in your heart. Hold on. The key lies in his heart. Reach into it. It's the key to escape the place. The key. One thing remains clear. It opted for the grin. The live declared, lapalisade. Yes, I definitely did not pronounce that right, but whatever. But worth stating all the same. You wielded deceit. White Lily became the lady in azure. The teeth sharpened. It leaned its torso sideways until its head was at the level of its waist. Okay. Bendy straw. Bendy. Ah! Okay, hold on. Wait, okay. She'd unfolded in half. Lady Nazure's hair spilling all over the milky ground. Shadow milk cookie. The only thing you did was use it correctly. Ooh. Its eyes widened. I only nudged you a little bit. A tease, it confessed, straightening. You did the rest of the work. It extended a hand towards Toothless Recluse. Toothless raised his chin just slight, enough to see the tips of the other's blue fingers. Nail polish and all. Far too well, it sighed. I was starting to worry. It scrunched its fingers together. Unlike other attempts by yours truly, you had fallen into the role so thoroughly, there was no other choice but to apply a bit of pressure to see if you would react. Other attempts. Are you bored yet? It squinched its eyes. I may have gotten carried away with some details. Blame the role I was given, not me. Who gave you the role? Yourself, I think. Didn't you give yourself that role? Hang on. The Fountain of Knowledge stood up. There's no reason to believe you, he tried, folding his arm. Tisk, tisk, tisk. The light let out, pointing one finger at the fount. It's my turn to talk, remember? You will answer my questions then. Isn't that your job? Oh my goodness. Okay. The light jeered, quickly covering its mouth with his hand. Sorry, was. The fount's face contorted, eyebrows snapping downwards, nose scrunching. His hair rose, the splotch of black twisting on itself, its newborn, small eyes widening. Oh. Yeah. I even drew it. Why am I surprised? I even drew it. Still need work on the drawing. I need to finish it. I keep starting new projects, though. Okay. What's your next words? The fount said. Ooh, spooky! The light said, pulling a step back out of cordiality. If you were actually Shadow Milk Cookie by now, I would have quieted. You're lying. I messed up, so I stop. Shuthus muttered, a lie. Both the light and the fount turned toward him. The light shook its head. Why would I lie? None responded, verbally. You're the one lying, Shuthus Recluse. I'm the expert in knowing that. The light explained, Shadow Milk Cookie. The fountain's eye twitched. Of course it is. Someone do something! Let me get the light of truth in here. Yes. Let them have their resonating time. Yes. A sigil appeared behind the light. String stepped forward, coiling around its limbs. The light made no effort to pull away. Fount! She said, I say, pure vanilla cookie. Pure vanilla cookie. Okay. I thought we were discussing, the light said, almost whining. I thought we were discussing, the light said, almost whining. Your mockery will get you nowhere, the fountain hissed. Why talk to me like this? I thought we were pals now, deceit and all, the light continued. We are not. The light interrupted. Okay, sorry, so sorry. Listen, I get it. You went through a tough moment. Cookies are quite detestable, aren't they? You are furious, and you wish to take it out on me now that I have taken on the role of the antagonist. Its smile softened. The fountain's hair rose higher. But you said it yourself. You asked Toothless Recluse to join you in deceit, did you not? So think of me as your number one ally, the one true friend. All I've done is push you in the right conclusion. Push you into the right conclusion. The fountain's jaw tightened. He narrowed his eyes. How much of this is a lie? What did I say? Who knows? Everything you have experienced? He will tell you in a second. Hopefully. He will tell you. Getting their memories back? Well, in the face. I have cat hair all over my face. I apologize. Oh my goodness, this is what I get. Oh my goodness. I'm also taking this time to think. I've been thinking a lot. Okay. Hopefully, the light continued, shrugging. I bet you have more invigorating questions to ask, or you could just let me explain. It made a popping noise with its lips. Truth is recluse. The pop turned into an O. Ah, I meant you, founts of knowledge. Yeah. It's revealing everything. Maybe, probably. Could be lying about everything. Oh, the light clarified. This is rather confusing. Good. Another twitch in the eye. The sigil behind the light brightened. We should shatter you for this. All of it. Whoa! Hold on, pal. Hold on. Talk about escalating the stakes, the light said, flailing both hands up to the best of its ability. And end him? Is that what you want? I can't have that. Huh? Okay. The light snickered twice. The fount stepped closer to the light, his attention returning to Truthless, who was paralyzed in place. Of course he is. Listening, avoiding, thinking. Absorbing, avoiding, thinking. You're awfully chatty for a light. You're awfully chatty for a hermit. It jabbed back, shooing him. Part of the role, I'm afraid. It squinted one eye, quickly glancing at the floor before lightening up. Actually, it clapped, or attempted to. You know what's interesting? Us talking, you and me. Fount of knowledge. It clapped its hands again, or attempted to. Again. Okay. All of us talking. What a rare occasion. It eyed Truthless. Truthless recluse. It returned to the fount. Lights of truth. Wait a second. It rolled its eyes. Not any of you are calling out that one anytime soon. You're all perfectly deceitful. Once more, its eyes were on Truthless. Almost. It cleared its throat. Louder, once more, for good measure. What got stuck in its throat? I'm kidding. I'll work on that in a moment. As for now, founts of knowledge. You wish to discuss, yes? It did not wait for the fount to respond. Oh, founts of knowledge, care to share with the class why you threw the both of you into the river? Yes, share with the class. Share with the class. I wish to know. The light said. You at the very least owe him an explanation. It waved at Truthless. Truthless finally met his gaze. The fount quickly looked away before returning to him. Gay. His hair lowered. His expression softened, though it was unclear as to what emotion had painted his expression. Hesitation, doubt, exhaustion, pity. Any one of them fit. Perhaps all of them. Truthless's heart unsteadied its rhythm, escalating with each tick of silence. Longing to fill it. Longing to. Fine, Fount sighed. Oh, wait a second. Liquid carries a quality bound to memory, he began, slow. He moved toward the light. I was made to forget the properties of the yogurt river of rebirth, because the properties should not have existed at that point in time. That's true. Wait. The river came to be with Shadow Milk Cookie. He tilted his head toward the direction of the light. Light of deceit, what did you make me forget? I didn't do anything, the light said, snickering. The stage rearranged itself. I recognize that liquid carries a quality bound to memory. That was from the notebook. The notebook has been driving me insane. It's been haunting me in my dreams. The notebook. The recipe. Yes. I need to find that book. I'm being stabbed affectionately. Stop it, cat. Very cute, but goodness. The fount grumbled, tightening the strings. I would say ouch if that hurt, the light said in response. The strings tightened further. The light sighed. You can improvise a play, but all must eventually return to the script, or else the ending would be different, no? Oh, it winked. Say, if an actor spends the opening act fumbling a role, only to grow comfortable in the character and begin playing it correctly, would the circumstances of the play not change? Its quality? It continued. What if the play is made out of memory? Hold on. Begin playing it correctly. Would the circumstances of the play not change? Its quality. What if the play is made out of memory? Yeah, we are suffering. Yes. Drowning in the lake. I'm kidding. Or else the ending would be different. No, it winked. Say, if an actor spends the opening act... Well, I already read that. My apologies. My apologies. I scrolled up too much and I lost my spot. It tried to move an arm. The play is still named The Tragedy of the Founts of Knowledge. Wait a second. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah! 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 Oh my goodness. The Tragedy of the Founts of Knowledge. Yeah. Oh, stinky cat. You're so stinky. You're clawing my knees. Okay. The Tragedy of the Founts of Knowledge. Who? The Fount dipped his chin, knuckles now resting on his lips. He pondered in place for a moment before giving the light a response. You were suggesting that because I became more, the Fount of Knowledge, the memories themselves changed to accommodate him? Perhaps, the light answered back. The grin widened. The Castle of Knowledge. What a joke. It giggled to itself for long, far too long. No, couldn't have been. Truthless's eyes widened. He continued watching. What else could he have done? Talk back? A certain light laughed further because of the thought. Oh. The light gave itself a moment, chest heaving as the laughter dwindled. It cleared its throat yet again. Oh, Fount of Knowledge, please continue, enlightening my lovely fake hermit as to why the two of you are here. He's gatekeeping information. The Fount glared back. He paused, allowing the comment to sit. I will do so on my own accord. His gaze did not leave the light. Suit yourself. The light raised its shoulders. The Fount allowed another moment of silence to linger. He looked at Truthless once more. I thought about it for some time. If this river was related to rebirth, and I, according to the light, was not the Founts of Knowledge, and yet I, the Founts of Knowledge, was meant to embrace deceit and be reborn into shadow milk, then the river must have played an importance in whatever mess we were in. Brilliant! That was my own personal assumption, he said, and the more I considered it, the less it resembled an assumption. Truthless said nothing. His breath stilled for a moment, suspended. An assumption. The Fount of Knowledge had thrown them into the river on an assumption. He turned the word over, looking for the edge of it, found several, still was unsure as to what to feel. He was still as confused as before. The Fount pressed on. The light told me to seek the milk lake of truth, that the key to this would present itself with you. The key resides in his heart. Reach into it. That the river was somehow related to it all. The place where shadow milk's birth soaked into something new. That was the form of truth. Truthless's fingers curled. A form of truth. I considered Folio's words from long ago. He took a deep breath. Truthless recluse will sink you deeper. Oh. Ha! Okay. I had no idea what that meant at the time. I later came to realize that this folio was the supposed light of truth. You took a gamble, Truthless mumbled. The Fount nodded. Yes, without hesitation. After everything, after seeing you in that state and realizing things, I took a gamble. Who? Ooh. Okay. Silence. Complete silence. Ah! I also wished to fall into it, he suddenly confessed, smiling softly. Far too softly. Pure vanilla's type of softness! I see you. I see that. You know. Yeah. Also, that'd be really cute to imagine the Fount of Knowledge smiling like that. Fount! Pure vanilla! Okay. If we both rose from it, then we could have been cookies of deceit together, just as you wanted, and we did. He took a step closer. Just one. If that hadn't worked, you wouldn't have risen. If the river had yet to become one with deceit, we both would have... He continued, raising a hand to his side. He gestured every word. At that point, a bitter life, what was there to lose? His eyes widened. Truthless recluse, my offer from before stands. A Fount of Knowledge or not, he said. If I'm supposed to be who it claims I am, or you who mentioned, that would imply that I still met deceit. Would it not? I like that idea. The light joined, twirling its fingers. Someone get the light out of here. Interrupting conversation. Okay. Oh, thank you. Zip it, the Fount spat back. We can shut this thing and continue our way, whatever lies ahead. One last attempt. You and me. You and I. We were meant to be together. Ugh! The parallels are choking me. Like yogurt. Together, as though it were that simple. as though it had been, and it was, or was meant to be, or perhaps never was, never would be, and never could have been. The Fount pressed his lips together tightly. He tightened his hands into a fist. Is this true? The Fount of Knowledge asked, sharper. Truthless recluse, are you really Shadow Milk Cookie? He paused. Am I really Truthless Recluse? He asked, and yet the expression on his face confirmed his certainty. The Fount of Knowledge would not believe a no. I don't know, was all Truthless had to offer, and all that he offered wasn't him. It is you, the light sang. That wasn't him. It is you. Shut up. Truthless glared, stopped, parted his lips, closed them, looked away. He was running out of excuses. Please, what was he supposed to think? Tap, 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 tap. Arr! I groaned, tapping against it, the string. Before sighing, his torso followed the motion. You are rivaling me in deceit here. It swung its legs back and forth and back and forth, forth and back. Back and... Why don't we crack that nog of yours open, The light asked, suddenly bright eyes, sparkling even. See what lies inside. No, that's not... Okay. The awful choir of one fed on itself, pitching higher with each passing moment. Triumph and its echo, an indistinguishable din. Catharsis and a warped quietus alike. It went on until there was nothing left, until his eyes had gone wet from the duration of it, and the clay of ache had molded itself between his sternum and his dignity, his victim's last words persisting beneath it all as a faint echo, one which the laughter neither answered nor erased. The joy was all his. He found that awfully pleasing. Spire of Deceit? His. The results of charades? Charades. This game has gone. This game. The laughter of one. A booming spectacle. A dissonant choir. His. He had won. The victory, wholly, irreversibly his. Pure vanilla had fallen for his next little trick. Even if the reveal had not been on schedule. He coughed for air. Wheezed, coughed for air. Sorry, I'm remembering. The library. When the Fount temporarily acted just like Shadow Milk Cookie. He was talking about a new trick he had planned for Pure Vanilla Cookie. I had a feeling that was important. But I wasn't quite sure. But I'm a little more confident in that now. Anyways. His laughter had become an old man's rattle. He slammed a fist against his chest and cleared a tear from his wetting eyes. Another cough. Pure Vanilla was such a half-baked fool. He took a deep breath, making every attempt to... wait a second. Making every attempt to calm himself, his chin lifted, his pose was settled, both hands found his white cuffs and performed their small corrective tug. A man confirming that nothing quite had slipped beyond recovery. His hair was next, a passing hand fixing any loose strands, the eyes in it narrowed, only for the image. He exhaled. Plays had acts. They had scenes with proper order. Take it and shuffle the sequence in place, and the story would cease to make sense. There was a beauty to that, of course, but he knew that this needed to be perfect. He was only the greatest playwright of all, no? His body relaxed. His legs rose until he was almost lying flat on air, ankles crossed. Now, perfection was allowed a few nudges, a squeeze into the act or two. Improv. Maybe even an opportunity of a lifetime. A game proposed, and not by his own hand. Charades. A game of charades. The irony was practically flooding. What happened to not nearing hand to a biting distance? Help real. Words. I'll get it. Hold on. Puerile. How puerile. For a student, Pure Vanilla had much to learn. I'm remembering the questions you asked. The little things you would ask in the server. Like things the Shadow Milk referred to Pure Vanilla as. Being a student. I remember these things! But progress was progress. A Cookie of Deceit was not made in a day. It required effort, sacrifice, dramatics, and a pinch of truth. Oh, mind him. He had played fair and square within his own terms. Why is it on the right? I was like, soon enough, He knew that. Soon enough, he knew that Annette would come to realize the reality of his precious little truth. He just needed to poke around a little bit more. And with that plan in action, oh, Pure Vanilla was done for. We're done for. We are so done for, oh my goodness. Would this conviction remain? His connection to it? Is the it referring to the light of truth, or what? Okay. He wiggled his toes, a snicker floating off his lips. The eyes in his hair snickered back. The excitement was practically oozing out of him. He needed to see how that fool was doing now. He demanded it even, from himself to himself. Show not tell aside. Pure Vanilla Cookie must have been reliving his life by then. One brightly deceitful. His favorite cream sheep becoming a cream wolf. A cream wolf standing where Cookie should have been. And ally scolding him for a good deed instead of praising it. The possibilities were endless. What would become of Pure Vanilla? He spent hours thinking of what to script. Could anyone really blame him for it? He hummed 3 notes in escalating succession. Alas, he decided on something simple, classy, and effective. A big what if all roads Pure Vanilla Cookie took led him to be hated by those most beloved to him and his citizens, to the point they no longer listened to him, only for them to wait to pay retribution for it. Real classic. Oh. A little familiar, don't you think? Found some knowledge. Okay. With a clap of finality, a chuckle of triumph, and a retilting of the world until foot met the space near the carpet. General Cookie decided it was time to go check on his new project. The real game was about to begin. He hovered his hand above the soul jam. It was particularly shiny that day, with the amount of power he was currently employing for his little game. The play, it was to be expected. An ocean of deceit! And a pinch of truth. Another chuckle. Ocean, sea, river. Lots of bodies of water here. He lightly tapped his own soul gem, the mirage of an entrance to an even faker reality. A curtain closed. The world swirled into black. The soft scent of vanilla never came. Shadow Milk Cookie quickly realized something was wrong. As they opened, his plethora of eyes proved his suspicions right. He was not in the Vanilla Kingdom, nor in any of the scenes he had painstakingly spent hours preparing for him. He swung his torso from side to side, one side of his nose scrunched, lips parting. Huh? This was nowhere, quite literally nowhere. He scratched the back of his head. Everything around him was boring. A single wave of breeze passed over him, subtly, but enough to prove that the scenery and its hold of the senses was real. And the senses, of course, were easily fooled. Briefly, he gave himself a mental pat on the back, credit where it was due. At least that was working. Enough of that. He sighed. There was more important things to focus on. Like, where on Earthbred was he? Where are you? I asked that question a bunch in previous chapters of either where is Truth is Recluse or where is Shadow Milk Cookie. Had answers to that although I have answers to some, more answers are on the way. Hopefully. A sharp exhale through the teeth. He took a deep breath. Now wasn't the time for expressing his opinions on minor setbacks. All could be dealt with properly, and the unknown was an opportunity. Shadowmilk was certain of that. He narrowed his eyes, paying some real good focus on the endless white. All roads lead to white! A field of milk crowns. Ah! Eh? He uttered, brow furrowing. Of all things, milk crowns. His arms dropped to his front, whilst his back, arched, followed the motion. Where were the vanilla orchids? The white lilies? Earthbred? Even some poisonous hembloom would have given him room to argue here. He quickly retracted that statement. The plants of the land spiced with a half-attempted, very much forgone solidarity had no business there. Okay. The hydrangea was more on theme comparison. The milk crowns? A sea of them! A sea! The Spire and the Sea! All roads lead to white. Sea of milk crowns! All roads lead to white. Sea of milk crowns. Really? He folded his arms. A mislocation within Pure Vanilla's mind that somehow infiltrated itself into the scenery would have been fine, as long as everything was on track. This was not it. It had to be a prank. By who? Who would have orchestrated this prank? His head lolled to one side, chin raising to the starry sky. He kicked the flower, of course, before swinging his head until it leaned against his shoulder, his gaze drifting toward the scene behind him. He blinked thrice. What? His torso followed the angle of the leaning head. Is it the spire? The spire? Or the castle, I should say. He rocked onto his toes and pivoted until he was staring at it head on. The spire of all knowledge! Wasn't what he... His attention flung to the soul gem. Real funny. Was this caused by it? He received no response. What did he expect? It could have been the soul gem. It wasn't the first time it did something like this. For a lesson! The light of deceit mentioned lesson before. This was a lesson. A reminder. Idiocy at its finest. To an extent, deceit was beautifully deceit. Colorful. The light did not respond. Fine. If it wasn't the soul jam, what else? Think, Shadow Milk, think. Think, Mark, think. He tapped his lower lip with two of his fingers, one by one. Had their memories mixed? That too was a possibility, a rather annoying one. It made little sense. He had done the magic right. He always did the magic right. There was no room for this situation. He retraced the process anyway. Soul jam, deceit, truth. A pinch, a measured pinch. Some inspiration from the milk lake of truth, and a pinch of pure vanilla's memories, wrapped in a blanket of deceit and his other realm. Not enough to contaminate the structure, not enough to blur the boundaries. He had been exceedingly careful about that. His fingers tapped faster against his lip. So what will you do about it? So what will you do about it? He mumbled to himself in a sing-song, dragging each word with no rush to finish them. His torso leaned backwards with each vowel spoken. What will you do? This clearly wasn't just the Spire of All Knowledge. He knew how the land was supposed to look. Back in those washy days, it was anything but that. The ghost yeast forest was lacking trees. There was an entire horde of milk crowns carpeting the spire. Pretty obvious. The set pieces were wrong, the backdrop was wrong, the flowers were wrong. Whew. The entire stage looked as though someone had been handed his notes, skimmed 3 pages, and confidently improvised the rest. How jarring. His eyes swept over the endless white once more. It was almost as if it was one big white lie. White lie. Road leads to white. Drowning in a sea of lies. Milk crown. Ah! A flower arranged of falsehoods, or even a lie in full bloom. He exhaled a laugh. Geez, at least the real spire could have made for a spectacle of sorts. The sigh that left his lips was all but meek. He elongated it past all decency, until even the flowers understood they were the cause of something. He said pure vanilla is currently in this, right? Yeah. What if he is currently the no, he wouldn't be currently the fountain of knowledge quite yet, methinks. I think he'd still know himself. I mean, that notebook! His handwriting, the notebook! His handwriting. Kind of funny. We start this with Truthless Recluse waking up in the sea of milk crown flowers. And here we have Shadow Milk Cookie arriving to this planned illusion in the milk crown sea. But, Light of Deceit, what are you doing? Please share with the class! Okay. Whew. An annoyance. That's what the situation was. A half-washed attempt at something grandeur that had no reason to be there. Or rather, he didn't like it there. Field of milk crowns? How tacky. The Spire of All Knowledge? How outdated. There were better scenarios to explore and tamper with than this. Plenty of scenarios and sceneries. Many. Too many for this. Too many! Ah! How would that change Pure Vanilla's situation? That was the other matter. Oh my goodness. What was that Nat doing? Was he himself playing the role of the Fountain of Knowledge, perhaps? The thought made Shadow Milk gag. I hope that wasn't the case. It's kind of funny. I was just questioning about this, and here we have Shadow Milk doing the same thing. I think I'm a little too into this. Wait, I got hit with the dodgeball of prophecy. And now bricks are being thrown at me. He hoped that wasn't the case. Worst, why couldn't he sense him? He flickered the nail of his index finger with his thumb. Did it again. Where was Pure Vanilla Cookie? Another fig. Maybe he got lost in the dream too much? Fell into the end of the world? He wondered what the kids were doing. I'm wondering that too! Wait, why was he questioning that? A shiver down his spine. What? Huh? What was this about the kid? Since when did he care about the gingerbread and terrible company? Oh, he's already. He continued thinking about pure vanilla. It was evident he had to be in the Spire. Like early memories of sheep meadows of emerald and gold, he found himself not wanting, enjoying the peace of a tranquil childhood. Brown hood on, he made no efforts to move. What a pleasant day. He's getting the memories. Pure vanilla was in Spire. Was he acting out the role of the fount of knowledge? Flick, he needed to go there and make sure his plan was working. Odd. Childhood. The fresh scent of a newly acquired uniform. Blueberry. He likes blueberry! He joined his best friend and began his education. What a pleasant day. His plan, he needed to check on his plan. Right, pure vanilla needed to fall. The soul jam would finally be his. 2 soul gems of deceit. Is this truly what you wanted? Or is it even better? Instead of 1 soul gem of knowledge, you'll have 2 soul gems of deceit. And me, forever by your side. Okay. I just had to. I can pull out these quotes anytime I want. I watched those scenes too many times. Adulthood, traversing a world and a half in order to seek wisdom. The 12 trials of the sugar-free road! Exhausting, long, yet somehow he remembered them fondly. Though not easy, plenty of blessings came his way. Followers, friends. Oh, how grateful he was. Hold on, Shamrock mumbled. He ripped the soul jam from his chest, meeting it at eye level. What are you doing? Was it the soul jam? Soul jam. The soul jam. The soul jam. A voice in his tone, yet not his own. The responsibilities and questions that came with it. Though now, recently a crowned king, his mind continued with certain doubts. He hoped to provide the truth to them. This is still pure vanilla's memories. Drowsiness, a feeling of being in the wrong dough. His plan. He needed to check on his plan, right? Pure vanilla needed to follow. The soul jam would finally be his. 2 soul gems. 2 soul gems. Milk scented cookie blinked. It's like, what? Friends, war, truths, doubts, sacrifices. He had so much to thank, so much to forgive and resent. His inabilities, his lack of. He had given so much, yet felt he had not given enough. Why was he so incapable? He had to continue seeking. His plan. He needed to check on his plan. Right, dark enchantress cookie. Dark enchantress cookie had to be stopped. Earthbread. Wait a second. This is no longer in the middle. This is on the left. This is shadow milk. The memories are affecting him too greatly. The memories are flooding into his brain. I've been wondering what happened from the beginning of the story of Truthless waking up in the sea of flowers. To, like, from the charades to that. Yes. I'm getting answers. Let's go! His plan, he needed to check on his plan. The differences from the, further up on the fic, it says his plan, he needed to check on his plan. Right, pure vanilla needed to follow. The soul jam would finally be his. 2 soul jams of, and then the parallels of, literally not a full scroll down. His plan, he needed to check on his plan. Right, dark enchantress cookie had to be stopped. Earthbread needed to be saved. The soul jam. The parallels. The soul jam of truth. Why had he been given it? The vanilla scented cookie blinked. What? Drowsiness, a feeling of being in the wrong dough. A second change, his own, lay to hers. Doubt still changing, he continued forward. To understand, he sought to understand. Understand her, understand himself, understand the current circumstances of the world. Dark enchantress brought evil to the world. There was another who wielded half of his own power. Why had he fallen? Would he find the answers he sought with him? His plan! He needed to check on his plan! Right, Dark Enchantress had tried to release the beasts. The beasts were free. The continent would soon be drenched in more chaos. He would not allow it. He would not allow it. Not with his friends, not for himself, and for the rest of Earthbread. He needed to stop Shadow Milk Cookie. Pure vanilla cookie blinked eye. Drowsiness. A feeling of being in the wrong dough. Doubt, fear, regret. What was the truth? What had he been doing his entire life? Was it all a lie? Was this truly the end of the road? Why? What? He no longer knew what was right, if there ever was a right. Drowsiness, a feeling of being in the wrong dough. A name renounced. His identity born anew. Reborn. Being reborn, huh? He hoped the children would escape. Drowsiness, a feeling of being in the wrong dough. Truthless recluse rubbed his eyes. Exhaustion clung to him in its entirety, as if the weight of 1,000 years had come to collapse into a single thought. Drowsiness, a feeling of being in the wrong dough. He got on his knees, feeling the weight of the world collapsing into one single thought. All was meaningless, In truth lied deceit. He no longer knew his purpose. Besides becoming the self-proclaimed hermit he thought himself to be, drowsiness, a feeling of being in the wrong job. The soul gem fell from his hands, crashing into white ground. He closed his eyes, being born anew. The moment truth is... Ow! Look at that! The moment Truth's recluse opened his eyes, he found himself in what appeared to be a sea of flowers, milky white and fragile. They stretched out as far as the eyes could see. Above, the glimmer of the moon greeted him, the only thing familiar to him in this situation. A mere second before, he had found himself in the Spire of the Sea, in the room his other half had prepared for him. And yet now, there he was, lying on top of foreign flowers in the midst of who knows where, all alone and very much confused. And his soul gem was to his side for some reason. That seems to be a little more important. I can imagine the soul gem, the lights of truth and light of the sea, just talking with each other. Like, I have this plan. Like, the script. Play it out with me. Okay, you lie down next to, Shadow Truth, that's very close. And I will go over to the spire where the real pure vanilla cookie is. Something that's kind of funny to think about. Anyways, silence, a deafening present, everything. Shadow Milk Cookie, the one that thought he bore the name Truthless Recluse, stared at the milk. Oh, we're back here. Wide-eyed, blue hands and blue lines. There we go! The light whistled. So, back to normal now? Truthless Recluse? The Fount asked. It had to be a lie. Your own twisted desires brought you here. The light explained, its voice dropping into an affectionate, venomous purr. Worst of all, even with that shape, you were controlling the narrative. At times, I did not ask those cookies to cut your head. So much for leaving me to do. Wow. Okay. Enough. Is that noggin of yours still not clicking? The light of deceit cooed. I helped you with this, since that technically was my responsibility, but you should be able to put the pieces together fully by now. No, his palms blue, still blue. Shadow Milk Cookie, the hermit, the king, the fount, the nothing, stared at his own hands as though they belonged to someone else. They didn't. Stubborn, mockingly blue. Wrong. Everything. All of it. He was losing the grip of his own script, the lines blurring together until the ink bled into his mind. He needed to get out. Oh. Shadow Milk Cookie! Shadow Man! The light harumphed, a babying sing-song cadence that grated against the silence of the reservoir. Here, I am you. I am merely a reflection of you. Since there is an opening on the Shadow Milk Cookie roll, I took it. By technicality, this is all your action. This is all your actions. Ooh, shut up. Why? Shadow Milk gasped, his torso slamming forward. He collapsed onto his hands, the stars above spun in chaotic, jagged circles. He could not remember. Beyond the sharp, jagged splinters of memory, the light had forcibly jammed into his skull. He could not remember. Why? He whispered into reflection below. Why? The white space was shrinking the colossal stone statue, which seemed to lean down, a suffocating weight pressing against his shoulder blades. I wonder how pure vanilla cookie's doing. The fount. The air became thick, cloying, trapped the breath behind his teeth before it could turn into a scream. He needed to get out. The walls, the faked, endless walls of this faker reality were closing in. A box made of crowns and lies. You know the way out. The light whispered, its form beginning to oscillate. The grand silhouette of the lady in azure dissolving, melting down into a brilliant, blinding blue effulgence. It reshaped itself, stretching and warping until it stood as the spitting, not mocking image of Shadow Milk's true own. I had told you to take care of it since the show wasn't over. The light roared, its voice echoing from every every drop of milk, every crevice of his own skull. But it is time. Soul gem, break the soul gem! Shatter until nothing remains! I mean, it's gonna happen. Canon compliant. The light commanded. The key remains in his heart. Reach in, take it out. Break the soul gem, shatter until nothing remains. The light commanded, the fanfare of its teeth, flashing through the blue glare. Dramatic, just as you like it, and wrote it. You became Truthless Recluse. Might as well finish the job. I mean, yeah. Wait a second. Oh, wait. This scene's starting to look a little too familiar from that drawing I made. Was this the scene you wanted me to see? Sunfetchy, after I drew the alternate ending, sort of. You said that you needed to hurry up and write. There was a scene you really wanted me to see. Was this it? The setting is somewhat the same. We have Shadow Milk was actually alive. Deceit in this situation. The fig. You have Truthless Recluse, going to break his soul jam. What should I say? And this will be Shadow Milk, going to break his soul jam, and the role of Truthless Recluse. And then there's the Fount of Knowledge. This scene's a little familiar! The scene. This is what you wanted me to read, wasn't it? I think so. Okay, anyways, might as well finish the job. The pressure escalated, a rhythmic, thumping horror that vibrated straight through his dough. Break it, shatter the lie, embrace the truth, break the truth, embrace the deceit. Savor the lie! The thought spun like a wheel out of control, a pretzel twisting until the dough snapped. A staff fell into his hands. He knew with his staff, the thin black staff polished to a meticulous sheen, topped with that familiar grotesque blueberry eyeball handle. Okay, so it is his staff, not his staff, but still the same. Very familiar. Goodness me. Okay. Grotesque blueberry eyeball handle. The eye on its staff blinked once, or maybe it didn't, locking its gaze directly onto Shadow Milk's fractured face. The light shoved the staff toward him. Magic and all, the bottom tip, the blunt non-eyeball end, pointed straight at the pulsing, volatile soul jam embedded in his chest. His fingers locked it. His hand shook so violently the eyeball handle rattled. Pure deep terror clawed at his throat. Fount, stop it! Pure vanilla! Stop it! Actually, don't. Maybe? Wait. No. I'm calling it. Pure vanilla is going to stab his own soul jam. I'm calling it. Because Shadow Milk Cookie, in the role of Truthless Recluse, got beheaded even though technically in the story the Fount was the one supposed to. In the Spire of Deceit, Truthless Recluse was the one who stabbed his soul jam, so in this situation it would make sense for the Fount to stab his own. For it's Pure Vanilla in the role of the Fount. That would make sense, would it not? Yeah. Okay. Fear, a deep terror, clawed at his throat. If he did this, who would remain? What would be left of him when the curtain closed? The certainty of his doubt fought with the desperation of his desire to leave the doubt behind. A mesh of contradictions. A leap into the dark. He wanted to get rid of the uncertainty. He needed to get out. The light was still talking. It never stopped talking. It had not, would not, perhaps could not. He could feel it circling. Not literally. Its limbs were still bound, but the words themselves circled. The words always circled. Break it. Simple. Solution to everything. Apparently. Break the soul jam. Stop. He pressed both hands harder into the ground. Shadow Milk Cookie. Stop. Why? Larger. Why can't I Why can't I remember? What did he couldn't finish? Beyond what the light had forced into the space behind his eyes, beyond that, nothing. Just the shape of a life he couldn't place inside himself, no matter which way he turned it. It didn't fit, had never fit. Perhaps that was the point. Break. Okay. Moment of silence. 1. Shadow Milk Cookie. The Fount! Behind him, careful, even now. What are you doing? What are you doing? Not a question. He had turned the staff in his hands without realizing the blueberry handle at the top, the bottom pointing forward toward his chest, toward the soul jam. Breaking, shattering, gray. Put it down, the Fount said, one step closer. Don't listen to it. You want to leave, the light said, softer now, almost gentle, almost his. You have always wanted to leave. He had, hadn't he? Shadow Milk Cookie. The Fount said this, dropping the voice. Shadow Milk Cookie, the Fount said, 2 steps. You want to stop being afraid, Shadow Milk continued. You want to stop wondering, Shut up, he said to himself. His grip tightened. The light said nothing else. It didn't need to. He could hear the Fount moving, 1 step, 2. He knew that if he waited any longer, the moments would close and someone else would make the decision for him, and he would spend however long remained wondering what would have happened if he hadn't let them. He was so tired of wondering. Stuff came down. A sound like 1,000 glass bells fractured at once sound of 1,000 glass bells fracturing at once tore through the reservoir. The surface of the gem exploded inward, the integrity of his reality dissolving into flying shards of blue light. The blue turned into gold, the gold turned into black, and then, with the force of a collapsing spire, all became white! All roads lead to white! All roads lead to white! All roads lead to white! Denial is a river in Egypt. I am about to head to the next chapter, but I'll quickly leave. Comment here. All roads lead to white. Yay. Oh, hey, I found Coldow's comment here. Doing kickflips into the sunset while it goes supernova so I can watch you get vaporized with you. I don't swear, but... Murdering the light of deceit. Now, we all will murder the light of deceit. The only thing saving it is the light of truth. Where is it? It's always a question of where something is. As soon as I know where something else is, I have a new question. Currently it is, where's the light of truth? Where is it? Should be able to interact or intervene, I should say. Okay, chapter 72. Anon. The mirror turns. White's inexplicable, all-encompassing, seemingly eternal. A violent inward gravity bloomed from the fracture, turning his chest into a vortex that reeled the universe back into a beginning. Stars encompassed everything, drenched in the sweetest lie. The Milky Lake, the stone monuments, the starlight, the spire, the burnt villages, and the mocking blue glare of the light of the sea all warped, dragging down into a tight, dizzying spiral of pure, absolute sensation. Color bled directly into taste, sound twisting into raw feeling. Melody became word, word twisted into action. Meaning redefined itself, sensation reaffirmed that which did not exist. He has swallowed the sharp, familiar blueberry while hearing the deafening roar of a burning castle. The crisp, rigid fabric of an academy uniform scraped his senses, immediately following by a quiet, gentle scent of vanilla fields under warm sun. Hang on. Every emotion he had hoarded, borrowed, or feared condensed into a point over his heart. The key. For a moment, becoming all he had known. The amber of a memory he had not made. He could not say which were his. He could not say which weren't. The grief for cherry bud cookie. The heavy mantle of a king's duty. The longing for friendship. The longing for a better tomorrow. The drive to pass his doubts. He wanted to understand. At some point, he needed to stop being afraid. He felt alone. He needed to push past whatever wall the truth had built around itself. Which he? Both. Who was he? Neither. A lie that had become true enough to leave a mark. Who truly was this Shadow Milk Cookie? Was this Shadow Milk Cookie? In the eye of this eternal storm, Shadow Milk Cookie felt himself becoming light, unbearably. Ah! Sage? I'm sorry. Is this secretly all just a sage recluse fic? I'm sorry. I don't think Shadow Milk Awakening would just become sage, no. It's funny to think that, though. It's probably not. This truly isn't completely Shadow Milk Cookie either, is it? No. Ah! Okay. The suffocating density of the yogurt river vanished, the heavy knotted pressure in his brain, the pretzel of identity that had kept him pinned to the floor of his own misery, unraveled into a single nothing. A jester, a beast, a fraud. A healer, an ancient, a hero. A cookie. There was no Shadow Milk at this moment. The farewell was all truthless recluse. The frantic drive to conquer his fears, the agonizing desire to understand what he was, and the quiet, stubborn determination to continue forward through the dark, flared within him like a dying star, desires belonging to someone else, borrowed from another doe. That certainty, the doubt, certainty again, the catalyst that pushed him over the edge. They were the garments of a fake hermit who had wanted nothing more than to find a sanctuary in the dark. A fleeting goodbye, a magnificent lie, a performance so thoroughly lived that the actor had forgotten where the stage ended and his own body began. The shattering of his own self, this committing of a grand theatrical act of self-destruction. It was this very accumulation of Truthless's memories, this heavy borrowed history that was actively destabilizing in the everything. There's a lot of everything and nothing currently going on here. There's a lot of that. Everything and nothing, reforming and shaping. Hundreds of years of history, not his own, the sheer magnitude of the truth, shattering the deceit from the inside out. What became, at the very moment, real? The lack of Shadow Milk inside his mind for the most temporary of moments cleared all away. The lightness reached its zenith. A weightless peace where his dough felt entirely unburdened, smooth and clean. A fake grace, a quietus destined to fade the moments the borrowed memories dissolved into the white void. The blue lines on his palm shifted, the asymmetrical eyes in his locks closing one by one as the friction of those awakening thoughts finally tore the dream to pieces, leaving only the raw, empty canvas of his truest self. His most false self. The dough wholly his, the mind furthest from itself. At that moment, the vortex formed a new light. Whoa! The last piece of the illusion shattered. Shadow Milk Cookie was forcefully awakened! End of Act 1. Oh my goodness! Given the immense complexity of what is to come, and my desire to get things right, the fic will be entering a max 2 to 3 week break. I will write ahead. I also need a break. Get the break! You deserve it, oh my word! The amount of time and preparation you need, to make something like this is insane! And extremely impressive. Whoa. Highly recommend joining the Discord server. That's absolute chaos. Yeah! Thank you for your understanding. I dedicate the next chapter to Cole Zhao? Again? better be fluff. They better be making it out. Making out sloppy style. Pretty please. They'd be so one. It would be insane. They lived through each other's lives. They are practically one another. In a way. In a way. In a way. They are the same. But yet not. They are two sides of the same coin. They start on opposite ends. One start on heads, one start on tails. You flip them. And now the one that was on heads is on tails. The one on tails is now on heads. They're still different, but yet they're the same. Does that make sense? Oh, well, this is so good. Well, time to leave another comment. I'm pretty sure you can hear me just tapping A over and over again.